welcome to the NFT Jungle. I am Emma, aka NiftyMetaGirl.
And I am Jaden, aka Boss Mom 99.
And we are glad to be with you today.
I'm so excited.
I know it's been just a little bit, but we're really excited to do an update today for our galleries. We have been busy in the NFT space, and we have some really awesome artists that we want to share today, pieces, different artists that we've collected from. So beautiful artwork, awesome people, and this is the first time that we're really featuring just one-of-one artists.
I know, there's been so many incredible just pieces added, or that we've added, and just artists that we've met that I'm so excited that we get the chance to just kind of pinpoint them, so.
Absolutely. And also, of course, continuing the theme from the generative art that we enjoy collecting. We both, as people know from our previous episodes, are really passionate about women-focused art.
Oh, yes. That's one of those things. It's really funny because we collect all kinds of stuff, but you can definitely tell sometimes that me and her lean towards certain things. But it's really incredible how you can find this like similar theme, I guess, in so many different genres and pieces. Like it's incredible to me. Like, yes, it's incredible.
Well, and I realize I've been working on setting up pieces for my gallery, and I realized going through my collection, like how many pieces are either created by female artists or feature female artists. So that's been an interesting dynamic, and it's also a great celebration because, you know, collecting a piece and connecting with an artist is always exciting initially, but to be able to kind of celebrate that and go back through and relive it, and I can't wait to see it in a 3D sense.
It's really funny because it was, I'm glad you say that because it's one of those things that I never noticed how much I collect pieces that I like see myself in. Like I had never realized that until I sat there and started actually looking at all my pieces, and I'm like, I feel like I lean towards this because it made me think a lot of myself for some reason.
That's funny.
Yeah, I was like, it was something I never realized till we started looking at our collections more in depth, and I was like, okay, yep. I'm like, that's probably why I bought this one.
That's funny. Well, and as we learn more about ourselves, we learn more about, you know, what our interests are and what we're passionate about. So it is a really, really fun journey to be on. So, and with that said, why don't we get started talking about some of the collections we've been adding?
I actually scored 2 today.
Woohoo!
That I'm super duper excited about. I had actually bought a piece by this artist a little while ago. Her name is Coco. I love her work, and I actually ended up selling that piece. But don't worry, I couldn't stay out of the collection for long because today she dropped 3 more pieces.
Okay, very good.
And this is in kind of a new collection. It's following the same one, so a derivative, if you will, of the first collection I bought.
This is Stardust?
Yes.
Okay.
So Stardust is the first piece I had bought, or the first collection I had bought a piece from that I had sold. And then this one, she is doing Stardust times, I guess times would be the right thing, Kendra Scott. It's a collab with Kendra Scott. And she had dropped 3 pieces a couple weeks ago, and I was telling Emma that I was really bummed because I missed out on them. And we just happened to see that she was dropping 3 more. So it was perfect timing, and I was so excited. I think this is such a cool project because, for one, I already like Coco's work, but then the whole goal of this, I like Kendra Scott. It's a jewelry company so you that might not know. But they are doing this in celebration of Women History Month.
Very cool.
So, yeah, this is Kendra Scott's 20th anniversary, and they're collaborating with female NFT artists to continue to break the bias in the Web3 space because only 16% of NFT artists are women.
Pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah, so crazy, actually.
And that's something that we actually end up spending a lot of time with is in the women-led space. And so it's really exciting because we'll have a lot of women artists featured today.
Yes. But I've always been a really big fan of Coco's work. And yeah, so when these 3 came available today, I got Daisy.
Okay.
And I wasn't quite sure that purchase had went through, so I went over and I went on ahead and got Paulin too, and then they both showed up in my wallet. But I am not complaining.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was so excited. I love both these pieces so much. I'm so excited to have them in my collection, and I'm really excited because they also come with a Kendra Scott bracelet.
That is awesome.
Yes, I'm excited to see that, and now that I'm getting two, I guess I'll give one to my little sister, so I'm sure she'll be super excited about that.
I'm sure she will. That's a great way to onboard people into the space.
I don't think she'll be complaining.
And so are you giving her the NFT as well?
We'll see about that. I really, really like these NFTs. The bracelet was just a nice added bonus. We'll see. I don't know.
I don't blame you for sure. Well, you did good on that one for sure. So good job.
Thank you.
And a piece that along the lines of female artists, a female photographer that I recently collected from. Actually, we have several on the list today, but is Dilek Uyar, and she is a National Geographic Photographer of the Year winner for travel, and she's a travel and documentary photographer. And she's been in this space since about January, and she's been really active in the MetaJungle community. She joins a lot of our spaces, and she's really supportive with the community, and she's a super talented artist herself. She's actually dropped 3 collections so far. 2 of the 3 sold out. Her second collection was featured on the front page of OpenSea. So she's really made some waves with being in the space for not that long. But she's also just a super great person. So I've enjoyed getting to know her. But I recently collected a piece from her Lending the Eyes of Birds collection. And this is an aerial collection. Each one has been a little bit different. This one is called Plane or Bird, and I love the colors in this image, but I'm also working on building out my gallery, and this is going to look absolutely beautiful up on one of the spaces because when you look close at the image, all of the little details are actually flying flamingos, which are just, it's so cool because that's not something that here where we live we get to see.
Yeah.
So it's just a beautiful work of art that once you look closer, it's just really, really mesmerizing to see the details. And the streaks that are shown are actually the path left by the flamingos as they're taking off. So, and there's the message behind the whole piece is really cool about, you know, where we're at with supporting the earth and taking care of it. And so I love having this piece in my collection. And I actually was her second female collector. So really, really cool to have that opportunity, and someone I really look forward to seeing her continue in this space because I think she's going to be here for the long run and have lots and lots of cool things coming ahead. So
yeah, there's no doubt. That piece is I didn't realize it was flamingos, but that makes it even better to me. Like, that's so cool. I had never realized that. But I can't agree more. Like, it's been so fun getting to know her, and she's so kind, and her work is so incredible. And yes, I could see her being here for quite a while. She's so amazing with building community and being a member, but also her work really stands by itself as well.
It really does. It really does. So very happy to have this in my collection. And like I said, that's the difference between maybe seeing a piece, you know, on OpenSea where, you know, the image is smaller on our screen and I can't wait to see it full size up on a large display in the gallery. It is a beautiful piece and that'll give it the vantage point it deserves. So, yes. And another piece that I just collected from the weekend is actually kind of an ongoing project. So the artist is Jaime Del Pizzo, and she's Canadian, but she recently had started a project that this is the first project I've seen like this in the space, and I get excited when people are doing something creative and out of the box. And on Twitter, she had mentioned that she was going to be doing this trip and leaving from the northwestern coast and then traveling all the way down to Baja, Mexico. And automatically I thought, oh, that would be such a cool trip because it's such a beautiful part of the country and just a really, really fun trip. And then she announced that she was offering these commission passes. And she had crafted this whole project around sharing this experience and having like an interactive collection with the people that purchased these commission passes. So you purchased the pass in advance. She offered 30 and the price was 0.09. And with that, what you got when you purchased this pass is the opportunity to request a photo from somewhere along her trip, somewhere along the route. And you could really, whatever experience, whatever style, you know, she was really open to that. And, you know, looking at it now that the project is completed, I think, man, that's pretty courageous. I mean, and really creative to, take on these recommendations and see, think about what someone else might want in their gallery, but also to have the technicality and just, it's a pretty brave thing to do, to step out in the beginning and say, I want to do this, and then actually fulfill the whole project. And so I had requested a picture from the Oregon coast, because that's an area that I've traveled with my family, and it has some personal connections. Plus, it's one of my favorite places in the States, because it's ever changing, and it's just a beautiful place to be. And it was really fun because she actually started a Discord server around this project, and so it really brought this community of collectors, the people that have purchased commission passes, together, and we got to learn more about each other and sharing experiences and making those requests. And then Jaime also kept us updated as she was actually on the trip, so sharing pictures and kind of routes along the way. And it was really fun to see people that that have spent time in that area, suggestions that they might make for places for her to visit, and also knowing how the trip was going. And then after she made her way through the trip, and at the end, she had pieces that she had created with the requests from each of the people with the passes. And then she had a Twitter space to share some of the experiences related to each piece. And so the piece that I have is called Dynamic Seas, and I think it's just a beautiful moody blue piece from the Oregon coast, which is just, and she didn't know this, but when the time that I traveled there with my family, it was actually quite rainy, so this fit really, really well with my memories. And I love having that emotional connection, and it was really, really cool, the thought that she put into getting to know each person that was participating, and being able to kind of craft something or look through their eyes and think about something that they would like. So this was just a really, really, like I said, a creative project, but also innovative, and a great way to make it an immersive experience for everyone. And it was fun to listen in the Twitter space, because Jaime also shared that there were challenges along the way to maybe adapt her photography skills, or even be challenged for some of her photography background, because some of the requests pushed her outside of her normal comfort zone, and she did a beautiful job with all the pieces. But it's really cool to see an artist open to growing and being vulnerable in that sense as well. So really great memory and experience for the whole collection, and I'm really, really happy that I got to be a part of it.
Yeah, that actually makes so much sense, because I had seen your piece the other day, and I knew that you had bought part of the commission pass, but I didn't know what you had asked for or anything. So hearing the story behind it, like, for one, that just fits you so well, but two, that's just so cool that she was able to capture that. Like, I always think it's really cool if you can combine a memory of yourself, connect one of your own memories with a piece, but then for everything just to fall in line so perfectly for this piece that you I guess requested, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. So, and I know she's working on doing another collection like this, so definitely check it out. Connect with her on Twitter. Her link will be in the description below, but also check out this collection, because it's really, really neat to see how even the types, the mood of each image is a little bit different, and with the intention of meeting those expectations of a collector. So really unique, and I hope that that's going to be something really fun. Again, this is a community with so many creative people, so it's really exciting to see when they push the limits of the NFT space and work on some other ways of adding, just building community and adding something a little bit extra. So
yeah,
I can't wait to see what's in the future for Jaime, but this was a really, really great one. And another project that I recently found out about and have bought into is called S.H.E. And this is a project that's not female-led, but it is female-focused, because it's a really unusual project that kind of mirrors a generative art project, but it's not. They're all one-of-one fine art pieces. And we both have bought into this collection recently. Yes. And the cool thing about this is it's called, again, S.H.E. And the artists are Fidel, Amos, and Adam Goldman, which are both photographers in the space, well-known photographers, but they're kind of pushing the boundaries. And they've created a collection that's 1,164 photo collectibles. And each one are individually shot and edited by hand. And they are all of different models, and they're laying on rugs panels with different style clothing and colors, but a lot of them are really pop art inspired, and just a really, really cool take on this. And I do think, for me, I feel like this is going to be a collection that over time is going to maybe have like an Andy Warhol or like a cult following, just because it's so unique and we're at such an interesting place in the NFT space. And the rugs that they are actually included, some of them, the rarer ones, feature rugs designed by Marco Nicholas Marcy, who is a designer for several celebrities. But this is just something unique and creative. And again, I really get excited about projects like that.
Yeah. One thing that really sold me on it was Emma had actually bought into it before I had, and she was kind of explaining it to me a little bit. But I absolutely loved how, like, we're really big on, women-led and women empowering. And, like, I just feel like the poses these models are doing, just, like, how these models are presented is just very, like, empowering, like, very confident. Like, it makes me very confident just, like, looking at them. And I absolutely love that. I think a project that can invoke that is so incredible and powerful, so...
I completely agree. Completely agree. And it's really cool too. The mint price is 0.05. And again, there'll be 1,164 of them. And it is still currently minting. So if you want to check it out, definitely look it up. Fidel's Twitter is Fidel Everywhere. And you'll notice both he and Adam have a lengthy photography career and have a lot of really beautiful work to check out there. And so this is kind of an entry point into maybe that one-of-one photography world, to still have a really unique personal touch to it, but then again in this collectible sense. So really cool project. We'll see. I have 2 pieces so far. I'm planning to watch it and maybe even pick up some on the secondary, because it is one too that it's instant reveal now, so you know what you're receiving right away. I really like the 2 pieces I have, and it's just one I'll be watching and seeing how the progress goes. So,
well, and another thing I really appreciated about this collection is, like you said, it's a great entry point into the one-of-one photography space, but it's also kind of fun if you don't have a specific genre that you're looking for, because I feel like some of the pieces are very like just fun and out there, and then some of them are very like fine art, and it's just incredible that they're able to combine all these to get so many different fillings in one collection. And I think that's so cool, because you're not quite sure what you're gonna get, but no matter what the piece, it's almost like it fits you perfectly. So
that's a very good point.
Yes, big fan of it.
And another piece recently, I'd been kind of watching this collection that I purchased over the weekend, is also one that features a strong woman. And noticing a theme. But the artist is Doruk Seymen, and I actually own a piece from a previous collection of his, which is called Blinky Portraits 2. And this is his 3rd collection that he's released. The one I recently purchased from. This one is there's nothing new under the sky, and this one is set in the wilderness, and it actually is mostly comprised of strong female representation. But the piece that I collected is called Aesthetic Connection, and you'll notice it's a ballerina, and she's just absolutely beautiful, and very, I love that she's very graceful, but also very strong in the same sense. But she's, positioned on this rusty train, and I just love that the ruggedness of the surroundings, and then also with her so graceful and beautiful, both really strong, but one is just absolutely gorgeous. And so I'm a big fan of Doruk's, just his overall aesthetic and his message. You see a piece from Doruk and you know it's his, which I think is a really cool thing from the artistic side. And I know he's always striving to be very professional and present really beautiful, thought out work. And that's something that I appreciate in an artist. And again, I'm a big fan. And the description for this one, for this particular piece, is we created these ties with the harmony of aesthetics and steel. And it's just, I absolutely, again, I'm just a huge, huge fan. And the piece that I had collected from Blinky Portraits. It kind of goes along with it. It's called Protective Instinct. And again, it's kind of mixing of really feminine, but also with kind of an industrial side. And I just really love his viewpoint and how creative he is. And with this particular piece, the description is time took us and we turned inside ourselves. So just always a really great message attached and something unexpected. So I'll be continuing to watch his work as it evolves, but definitely check out these collections. With Blinky Portraits, the first edition sold out within just a few hours. With Blinky Portraits 2, there's a few remaining, and then the same with There's Nothing New Under the Sun, very new release, and there's a few pieces, but all of them are so unique, so definitely worth checking out.
Yes, I think that fits Doruk so well too, because he actually has an artist spotlight video that if you guys have not watched yet, it's incredible. We'll actually put it in the description below. But it was so fun to learn more about him. And one of the things that he said, like, he has this background in like fashion and documentary, like all these incredible works. But then he says that he really likes to push his boundaries and experiment. And that's something I've absolutely loved about all of his collections, because they have been so experimental, but yet so beautiful, and just like they fit him so well. Like if you watch this, you're just like, holy smokes, like that is Doruk, like that is incredible. And so that was something that I really enjoyed, was watching this video and learning more about him as like an artist and a person, and then seeing his different collections and just how well they like tied into him. Like it was just really incredible, because his primary profession, like his career, is photography, and it's like fashion, magazines, like documentary. And then he's like, but in my free time, I like to really experiment. And then these are the NFT collections we're seeing, and they are just incredible.
They are.
So
they are absolutely awesome. And so I'm definitely excited to see what all's coming from Doruk in the future. And he's also a really active MetaJungle member. So that it's been really, really fun to get to see how involved he is, but also to get to know him on that side too.
I could not agree more. He's literally so supportive too, and that is something that is so fun to see. Like he's always just like, yes, like another artist spotlight video, yes. Like he gets, it's incredible.
So definitely big fans, and we'll be watching. And another collection recently that is from another MetaJungle artist that has been really active in the community. This is Sarah Lyndsay, and so a wonderful female photographer. She specializes in self-portraits and in beautiful landscape settings, and so she's been a photographer for over a decade now, and she is very active with her photography on Instagram and YouTube. And she and I actually get to co-host a space every Friday night where we talk about navigating from Instagram to NFTs. And it's a great time that we just kind of chat. A lot of the people that come are photographers, but we talk about things that we are learning, challenges we're facing, just so we kind of have a community where you don't feel like you're in this all on your own, but a great networking space, and just also a time to get to share together. And so I'm a huge fan of Sarah's. She is so talented. I know if you watched the podcast, you've heard us talk about a previous collection, which is called Dear Dreamer 2. I own a piece from that called Salt, and she actually has a new landscape collection available on Silica. But something that she did as an added benefit for her recent collectors is she actually gifted me a piece from her Arium. It's called Arium, and it's from her Frozen Winters collection, which is a absolutely gorgeous collection of winter-based landscape pieces. And so this is kind of showing the beginning of her progression. So she's laying the foundation and sharing, kind of how she started in her photography career, which was a lot with landscapes. And then she's developing her signature yellow dress brand, because that is how you will definitely recognize her. And so the collections that she's sharing now, she's showing herself, photographed in different beautiful dresses in amazing landscapes. But the yellow dress is going to be her signature piece. And so she's continuing to grow that brand. And she's an awesome person and super, super talented. And I've loved getting to know more about her and connecting, and then also getting to have pieces of hers in my gallery.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I really loved the Frozen Winter's Chill because this is actually another artist that has an artist spotlight video.
Yes.
And I had known her previously from all of her dress and landscape ones. And it was like, I saw this Frozen Winter's Chill and I'm like, honestly, that like, it just it fits her. Like,
it really
so
does.
She's from Canada and it's like, it's a beautiful image. She's a beautiful person. All these in here are so beautiful, but they're cold, like they're ice. And it's like, for some reason, when I think of Sarah, like that's just what I think of. But it's probably because like not a lot of her pictures, but a lot of them that I associate with is like her enduring these harsh conditions to get these incredibly beautiful pieces. And I just like, I think it's incredible. And then she came out with these and I was like, holy smokes, these are amazing. And I like you said, I've had so much fun getting to know more about her, but also like knowing her as a person just really shows like, her collections fit her so well. Like I just love all of them. And, but I love Sarah, so it makes sense.
Well, and you're so right. Like her, she's another artist that even when you're looking at a piece that does not have her in it, you can really tell that it's her style. And I think that's a huge compliment to artists as they're growing in the space to be able to really show their voice. And, you know, as you're maybe seeing work shared on Twitter, you can go, hey, I know who that is. You know, that's really, really great. That's a great sign that you're creating work that's unique to yourself and that is also really, really pleasing. So I know she has a great future here in the NFT space. You can check her out. She's great with helping to answer any questions for photographers as they're getting coming into the NFT space. That's really a passion of hers. She's got great information on YouTube. Check out her Instagram, but she is making her way, and I'm really, really happy to get to be involved with the things that she's moving forward with.
Yeah, Sarah's another one that's really cool to interact with on social media because she does a lot of behind the scenes of her shoots and stuff. And that's something that's really cool. Like, we see all these beautiful pictures, but like, you know, it has to be cold. But then you'll see some of these that you're like, there's no way. And she'll do a behind the scenes of what she's having to go through to get these photos. And you're just like, holy smokes, like that's incredible. Like you had 3 seconds to capture this picture and you did, like, holy smokes.
And you're in water. The other day we were chatting at the beginning of our Twitter space, and she was in water that was she'd just been in the water for there was negative 20 degrees.
Yeah.
Negative 20 in a dress, taking your own picture and looking beautiful. I mean, good grief.
It's insane.
Totally crazy. But she makes it look really, really easy.
Really, really beautiful.
And another female artist that I know that we have talked about here on the podcast before, but we both are holders of and also really, really big fans of is Hannah Chu.
Yes. Love Hannah.
Absolutely. She is a one-of-one digital artist, but she does such an amazing job of capturing emotion in her work and really exploring different emotions. And we had gotten notice that saw a notification that she had a new collection dropping, and she's been doing these small collections, and then she'll drop some one-of-one pieces from time to time too that are more standalone. And I'm just always really impressed in how she does that because she has built a really good following and a very good collector base, because typically if she's sharing a collection, you have to be watching or you don't have a chance to participate. Yep. And so she has started a Discord, but it's really easy to follow with her on Twitter. She does a great job of sharing those details. But I'm just such a fan of her work because she is able to really connect with different emotions and convey that and do so in a beautiful way. The colors that she chooses and the softness I just am such a fan.
That was one thing I was going to say. So I know she hasn't said the name of the collection yet, but what is so incredible to me is how well she ties this collection in with her sitting still collection.
I completely agree.
When I saw them, I was blown away at how she can do a whole nother collection, but still make you notice and be like, wow, this is Hannah because I know this collection. Like, I've seen this. Like, it's totally unique work, but she ties them together so beautifully.
Absolutely. And yes, the Sitting Still collection is one of the first ones that is the first collection that I know I bought into that was actually had multiple pieces. But this collection is 50 hand-drawn artworks, and they're all one-of-ones. And she did it to really represent the wandering mind and some struggles that she had overcome over time, and she's continued that message throughout her work. But this collection is called Standing Tall. And it's all about body acceptance, which is a really important message. And again, her collection has such a feminine approach. So it's one that I think represents females in the space so well, because they're very strong, but yet feminine and beautiful. And the piece that I collected is called Acceptance. And I just love, and this is the surprising feature of this collection for me was that all the models were wearing bathing suits. And that's something I think for women that can connect with, because it's not always something that we feel that comfortable in. So it was interesting that the attire that she chose was one in which women typically would maybe not feel their most confident. So to choose that and then have a collection about body acceptance and being proud of yourself and being proud of how you look was really, really thoughtful on her part.
Well, and I know you said it already, but like she just does such an incredible job capturing emotions no matter what she's doing. Like you can connect with all of her pieces. Yeah. And that's what I think is absolutely incredible. And she actually has an artist spotlight video as well.
She does, yes. So please check it out.
Yes. And that was actually what she said one of her goals was to have people connect with her work and emotionally, and just she wants to create these emotions, and she does such an incredible job. Like I was actually I unfortunately didn't get part of the first 40 of the Sitting Still collection, and it's 50 now, as you heard Emma say, but it's because she dropped 10 more and was like, I will explore any emotion that you want. And I was lucky enough to get one of those, and I had just had a baby, so we did postpartum depression or anxiety/depression, and like it was incredible. I was like, holy smokes, like you captured everything I'm feeling so beautifully. And it's like you find that in all of her collections, all of her pieces, like especially these ones where she sets out 2 or 4 people to connect with them. Like it's astounding how, like, no matter which piece you're looking at, you are going to be able to know exactly what is happening and how that feeling feels. So
I completely agree. And she's also really supportive in the space. I know I first found her because a piece of hers was collected by the Women in Weapons wallet, and she's one of the artists that they support. And I also was really touched on how she responded to them collecting a piece from her collection, because she did a few derivatives for them, and just such a genuine person. So when I'm looking for artists that I would like to collect, that's one of the things I notice is just how they're interacting in the space and their personality. And she goes above and beyond, just with being really, really very thoughtful, and also really, really supportive of others. So she's definitely one that, if you're looking to get into the one-of-one digital art space, probably someone you should check out and see if her work connects, because she's doing a wonderful job.
Yes. And I mean, even just the connection she built with her collectors is incredible. Like we're friends. Like we were friends before we collected her pieces, and we'll continue to collect her pieces because I'm sure we'll be friends after. It's incredible. So
Absolutely. Well, and another strong person in the space that we've connected with a lot lately, and he's a huge advocate for the MetaJungle community, is Subodh Shetty. And that's one of my more recent pieces that I've collected. This is his second collection that he's actually shared in the space. And I actually have purchased from both of his first and his second collection that he dropped. And I love both of the pieces of these collections. Subodh is a really talented photographer, which is very evident in his work, but he's also a very strong storyteller, which I love that element. And that's one of the things things I really get excited about with these pieces is getting to connect with the story and connect with the artists and ask questions. And the most recent piece that I collected is from a collection called Before They Vanish, which is a wildlife collective. And this is actually the first wildlife piece that I've collected for my gallery. So that's pretty cool. And there was several pieces that I was deciding between. And for me, I actually read the descriptions to decide maybe which piece I connect with or which one kind of just has that extra something that I like. And this piece kind of surprised me that I liked it because of the blood that's visible, and but it's almost like a fine art wildlife piece. And I loved the whole overall aesthetic and just how stark the red is to the rest of the surroundings. And so it's called Blood on the Dance Floor. And Before They Vanish is a series in it that highlights animals that are endangered. And really, with this collection, I feel like Subodh's storytelling comes through because each piece. The image is beautiful in itself, but then the story adds a whole nother level to it. And in this, his passion, I had heard Subodh speak in a space, which we also refer to him as the king of spaces. He does great spaces, he is
Yes.
like the Energizer Bunny. He can just keep on going. But he had talked about his passion behind this piece, and the appreciation and love he has for these animals really came through, and that was captured in the description of this particular piece. And that's one of the reasons that made me decide that this was the one I wanted, and also my first wildlife piece. So for those of you that are wondering out there if that matters, it definitely does. And so, including that extra in the description is really, really important. This was his first piece on silica. So it was cool to be experience that in minting from that site, which they're doing a great job. But a few weeks prior to that, I actually was able to purchase the last piece of his portrait collection. And this is called Portrait of Humanity, and it's a very beautiful collection. The piece that I purchased is called Gullup, and it's this beautiful, beautiful little girl. It's Gullup or Rose, and I loved that the piece, it's absolutely gorgeous, but also a part of the proceeds go to her education. So just again, reading the descriptions and getting to know Subodh a little bit more, he shares so much of his personality in the work that he creates. Very sincere about the work he creates, and you can just tell it's him. It's not photography in him; it's just all in one. And so both of these pieces I really love having in my collection. They're both unique from maybe some of the other work that I collect, especially with the piece. I thought about, he had a piece in there that really represented the women in the wild, which was a piece about a female lion, and it has her cubs. And the story was about how Disney doesn't recognize really the real leader of the pack in the animal world. And I love the message behind it. And it was actually collected by Alpha. And that one was really, really hard. But again, the visual and just the story and the connection I have to Subodh made the other one stand out a little bit better. But Gulliv is also one that definitely kind of goes along with the basis of what I collect. So, but I know that Subodh has great things ahead. So he's been somebody to really that we've enjoyed getting to know.
That's something I've always appreciated about Subodh is, for one, he has all of his collections are so different, but all equally as incredible. But he does such a great job in his descriptions with making you connect. And he does such a great job connecting with his subjects himself that he's able to portray this in his descriptions. And I think it's absolutely, I think it's incredible to read. So that's something I'm really glad you pointed out, because I've always really appreciated that when looking at his work, is how well you can tell he connects with this subject, because he's able to make you connect with people that he's met but you've never even met, or animals even. It's incredible.
And we definitely saw that a little bit more of his personality and connecting in the workshop that he taught in MetaJungle. And if anybody would like to watch that, it is an excellent video that really goes along. You can gain so much regardless of what genre of photography it is or really art that you're creating. There's tips there, and you can just tell, that he's thought that through so well, and it is something that he just owns. So that was a great series, and we appreciate him doing that for us. And he's also getting started with our AMA series as hosting. And so it's great to be able to learn from somebody like that. So definitely excited. And he has a new collection out right now that's all aerial shots. Again, it's minted on silica, and there's only one piece left. So that's something about his work. It does not last. It's not available on the primary for very long, but I'm sure it'll be on the secondary for quite some time, as far as he'll be in the space for the long term. And a crazy thing about Before They Vanish, that collection actually minted out in pre-sale. It actually didn't open to the open collectors market. All the pieces were collected before it made it there. So
Not surprised.
Well, and mentioning an aerial piece, another piece that I recently collected is an aerial piece, and it's from Dave Markel. And Dave has been in the MetaJungle community for a few months now, but this was one that it's a small collection. There's only 3 pieces in the collection, and they're all of frozen snow-covered pine trees. And the thing that's so cool about this piece is it actually, it looks like it's like a needle point if you just glance at it, just because of the coloring and the angle of the photo. Mm-hmm. And it was one that I really, really liked, and it was the last piece left of the collection because it was selling out really quickly. It was one he had shared a little while prior, and then shared again, and for whatever reason it caught that time. But I actually was already a collector of Dave's. Dave was part of a collection called Calibration, which is a really cool example of community in the NFT space. As we know, as we get started in our NFT journey, community is such an important part. And with the Calibration project, this is a collection put on by 30 different artists, mm-hmm. and to support their friend Caleb McKinney. And what had happened is Caleb got his wallet hacked and lost all of his ETH, lost all of everything he had in his wallet. And he is someone that got started in this space early on, and it's a testament to the community that he built along the way, because all of his friends got together and created this collection by donating pieces into it, mm-hmm. to help him regain the ETH that he had lost. And so this collection, actually Alpha had found the collection, and he shared it before it was really public, so it was really fun to have this experience with the artist. But looking through it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a mixtape of all of your favorite songs. Like the mm-hmm. artists included in this collection are just outstanding. Some of the leading, especially landscape artists in this space, a lot of the collection is landscape. But it was really cool too, because we get to know some of these artists, and they've created their initial collections, their Genesis collections. And in this particular collection, there was work that was really, really, you could identify it as theirs, yep. but it was also a little bit different genre. And so that's actually what made me choose Dave's is my first piece that I bought from that collection. And one of the reasons is because I had been familiar with his work, and a lot of it is frozen and snow related and aerial related. And this piece is just beautiful. It's called Ranchland Sunset. And it kind of made me feel like the home. I mean, it's a setting that I'm really familiar with, and so I connected with it on that side. But I really, really liked that it was Dave's work, but it was something that I hadn't realized, just a style or an area that I had not seen him shoot yet. So a cool collectible piece, yep. there.
It was beautiful. Like when I first saw it, I was it's so funny that she says that, because when I first saw it, I'm like, man, this piece is really incredible. And there were other artists that kind of popped in my mind, because it's more like their style. Uh-huh. And then I opened, I'm like, this is Dave's. I was like, his work is incredible, but it's just I think more of his forest fire work or exactly. things like that. And I was just like, holy smokes, this is awesome.
Yeah, he had recently been featured in the AMA for his forest fire mm-hmm. collection. And that's a really, really cool collection, but that was more of what I expected. And this is, definitely a golden landscape type shot. And so this is really cool.
Yeah.
And the second one from the collection that I was able to purchase is called Fall for Sedona. And this is a piece by Arwin Levinson. And I am a huge fan of Arwin's. She is an awesome landscape photographer and just also a great supportive female artist in the space. And she's creating beautiful work and sharing her experiences behind that. And she's just somebody that I think is awesome. So I was really excited to pick up a piece from her. And also I picked up a piece from the Balded Photographer, also known as Chris, also known as the Balded Photographer. But he has really specialized these splash of color pieces. And I had purchased one from his second collection and was really excited to purchase another piece because I think his work is just really, really great. And he's also a huge supporter for the community. He's done an edition size where he's purchasing art from other artists, but also supporting them by providing equipment for them and different things along those lines. And the cool thing about this particular piece, I had no idea at the time, but soon after purchasing it, I found out that this was his 50th NFT sale. So that's a really cool milestone for him. So he's been crushing it. He's also a great example of building community, but also if you have questions about collection size and how to make that work, he's a really good person to see how he's kind of done that along the way. And then another piece that I purchased is from Shaun Stewart, who is a beautiful landscape photographer. I am a really big fan of his work. Usually always has water involved, at least a lot of the pieces that we've seen and familiar with, and he also delves some into animating his work, but this one is called Golden Swirls, and it's just an absolutely gorgeous piece. And so this was a really, really fun collection to be involved with, and also for the cause. The first I've seen of this kind where friends really got together to make a difference. And there's bad actors in this space, and it really sucks.
Well, yeah, and it's another one of those collections that just has really good utility because all their secondary sales is going to a neutral wallet to help people in the future, too, that this happens to. So it's really cool just seeing how they're continuing to make this collection it's a really good...
It lives on.
Yes,
right?
I was like, what am I trying to say here?
The good continues.
And it's just, I thought that was really admirable that even after their primary goal has been accomplished, and it was definitely accomplished, they are looking on how they can help people in the future. And I just thought that was really cool as well.
I completely agree. And another collection that I recently purchased from is also someone that's active in our MetaJungle community, but also in the community as a whole, but it's Brandon Yoshizawa. And this piece is actually called Lava Drip, and it's from his Yosemite Through the Seasons collection. And his work is really, really beautiful. I actually own another piece of his as well. But with this particular piece, it's taken in a cool time because it's a time called Firefall, and it's in February, where the color of Horsetail Falls turns into this deep, rich orange tone. It has to do with the angle of the sun at this particular time of the year. And this is something that I read about several years ago, and I've always wanted to experience it. It's just something that really intrigues me, and I think it is a really beautiful experience. And I actually own two pieces from this collection. The other one is called Road to El Cap. And this is a piece that I bought a while back, but it's a beautiful landscape piece, and I just love the reflection in it. And this is a pretty small collection. There's only 20 pieces in the collection, and it has closed out. But it is a really, really beautiful ode to Yosemite. And that's a park that somehow I haven't visited in person, but I hope to at some time in the future. But Brandon's work is really, really beautiful. And as a follow-up, he actually airdropped a piece to a lot of his collectors. And the shrouded piece is one that's really, really beautiful. And I really appreciate that from Brandon. And he's a mod in the MetaJungle community now. And he provides really, really great information and support for those that he's watching the newbie channel all the time to help people with answers on what they, new things that they should be doing if they're new to the space, but is also just really active, and we appreciate what he contributes.
Oh, yeah. Brandon does an incredible job. Anytime that, I'm trying to help someone and I don't know, I'm just like, Brandon, can you? And because, he does such a great, he's experienced it, and he will tell you, he does not hide anything. He'll tell you exactly his experiences, how they went. He doesn't, try to persuade you one way or the other when it comes. He's just trying to answer your question as honestly as he can. And he does such a great job at providing really helpful information and feedback, so.
Yes, I appreciate that very much about him. So he's a good person to connect with and to get to know. And Brandon actually has a new collection that is going to be coming out very soon, and it's called LA Luna. And this is a little bit different, still in the same part of the country, very similar location in the country. But all of these have to do with beautiful shots of the moon. So you should definitely check it out. It's a really beautiful collection, and I'm excited to see how this collection goes. And it is one that is also minted on silica.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that Alpha actually got a pre-mint to it, and it was really, or pre-mint, if you will, but the piece that he got was really incredible.
Yeah, and it's the body of work is really, really beautiful. Very well thought out. Timing was an essential element, and attention to detail. So it is a gorgeous collection.
Could not agree more.
And the last piece that I want to share today is from another one-of-one digital artists, and I am such a fan. We've talked about this artist on the show before because we've purchased artwork from her before.
Yep.
But this was an anticipated drop, and one I've been watching. Marleen with Studio Irida. Her first collection is called Modern Muses, and we actually had... you and I both had minted from that. No, I'm sorry.
Nope.
Just I minted from that collection. That was a really small one of only 6 pieces, and I love Marleen's work. Her aesthetic is just gorgeous, and she also is like such a powerhouse in the community. She is so supportive. She's making connections with so many other strong women and women-led projects in the community. So if you're looking to get into that area, Marleen, Hannah, they're friends, but they also are both great people to follow and connect with because they're creating beautiful work. But with this particular drop, this one was called Birds with Babes. And as soon as Marleen had dropped her Modern Muses collection, she started teasing this, and it was felt like forever before this collection got here.
I was going to say, I think that we've actually mentioned this once or twice on the thing, and the time has finally come.
Yes. And I would see she does a great job of sharing her work on Twitter, so you would see it over and every day, and I'm like, please let it be here. And so I had picked out a piece early on and then found out close to drop time that it was one that had already been reserved from someone else, so I was I was so disappointed, but right before the drop, she actually shared this particular one that I was able to get called The Magical Mechanical Bird, and I love the colors, but I also love the steampunk theme, and just a great piece. So when the time came for the collection to release, I know we were all had our pieces picked out ahead of time, and we're doing our best to get the ones that we got. So I was really, really excited to get mine, and I know you got a beautiful one as well.
Yes, I'm so glad that she brought this up because she also mentioned making her gallery earlier, and this is one that I'm super excited to be showing in mine. I love my piece. It's called the Royal Robin. For one, I just am really into regal stuff and like that time period, so the name already had me won over, but I love the coloring. It's kind of like neutral, but then also has like these fun pops of color, and I absolutely love it. Like, I think it's so beautiful. It was actually I was deciding in between 2, and I believe that like at the time it dropped, they were just going like crazy. Like, you were just like having to go, and it was this one and another one, and Alpha beat me to the other one that I wanted, and this one they were both tied for me, so I was like, okay, great, and I ended up getting the Royal Robin, and I'm so happy about it. But I wanted to say on Emma's, though, I know that she's mentioned being a business owner in the past, and it's really fun because I love that she leaned towards a steampunk one, because she's had a steampunk inspired business before.
Yes.
So
yep, that is true.
Fun fact.
It is a theme that I really, really am passionate about, but it is really fun when you find artwork that kind of connects without the artist having any idea whatsoever.
Yeah.
And the piece is absolutely beautiful. I love the colors. I love how it goes with the other pieces. I've purchased 2 other pieces from Marleen, and then also with the Modern Muse collection with the first one, a really cool added benefit that she did for her collectors is she dropped the line drawing to each of them. So I actually have the line version and the beautiful colored version. So I cannot wait to see them in my gallery.
Oh, me neither. They are incredible. I love all the pieces that you have by Marleen.
Me too.
I love my piece by Marleen too.
And she is currently working on another Modern Muse collection. This is like the next generation. And the colors are just beautiful, and outlandish, just really a lot of color and a lot of creativity. And she's been dropping this in Dutch auction styles, which I have not been successful at yet, but I am watching and waiting. And I know she has a lot of new work coming along the way. So I'm excited to see where that's going. But she does have some opportunities to purchase from her collections on the secondary. So if you're interested in any of these, we'll have her Twitter link below. Check it out. But again, she's an awesome person to follow and to kind of help get started with navigating the world of one digital artists.
I couldn't agree more. And you find like Emma said, you find so many incredible. So I know we've mentioned Marleen and Hannah, but the other one digital artist I own is Anna, and we've talked about her pieces before, but I actually found her through Marleen. So it's always really, and I think I found Coco through Anna. So it's really great because it's like these are all artists that I really love, and their work is absolutely incredible, and it's just really great seeing them supporting one another and lifting each other up. And not only do you find other incredible humans, but you find other incredible art that you just fall in love with.
Absolutely. And I think that that's a great message too, that sometimes I know in the Twitter world, you kind of feel like, is your message being heard and do your actions get seen? And this should be a good testament that not only are you getting seen, but you're helping friends get seen as well, because, that's how we find out about one another. So the retweets really do matter. What the content that you're sharing and creating, I know it can be a lot of work at times, but it really does matter.
I could not agree more.
Well, and on the note of really cool things we talked about with Hannah, that she is just a great person and a great connection. And I have a little gift that she had sent that I want to share because it is a great shining example of the type of person that Hannah is. And I also want to say thank you. This was something that she had shared in her Discord. And it's just one of those things that, she had shared that she had merchandise connected to her Sitting Still collection available. And anyone that had collected could have the opportunity to receive a box. And I could not believe when I received it how absolutely amazing this was. And I should have done an unboxing video, but I couldn't wait. So I have opened this, but I want to share it with you as well. But just the little details that Hannah has done here along the way. There's a little stamp here, personalizing stickers, the whole thing. But I was just blown away that, when I first opened it up, there's a note here, handwritten note, "Dearest Emma, thank you so much for believing in my art. It means the world to me. Sending love." And then also this beautiful hand-drawn piece that it's just so thoughtful and sweet. And she, put all my name on the back here. And then just pieces that go along with the Sitting Still collection, which is just a beautiful collection, but tiny little stickers and details, personalized notepads and stickers. A print from one of the signature pieces of the collection. Also, along with stickers, there's a beautiful journal here that has to go with this. It's a time for sitting still, and it's a grid journal, and it's stamped with the name of the collection. But just really, really thoughtful, beautiful pieces. And also this awesome tote bag, which... Fun fact, I am a junkie for a tote bag. I use these all the time, and this is absolutely my most favorite one that I have. And my piece is actually included here, right here, which is really, really cool. So and also the stickers are all the pieces from the collection. So it's just really, really cool to see that represented. And little does Hannah know, but it went along with my watch. I actually have my image, Brave, that I have on my Google Watch here. Or on my iWatch. But just something that was so sincere and so thoughtful and so representative of Hannah. So not that this is something that's expected from any collector by any means, but this was something that was just so heartfelt, and the attention to detail was just so amazing. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Hannah and say thank you.
Well, and even more of a testament to who she is. Emma got hers, and I'm like, man, I'm kind of bummed that I missed that. Like, that's so awesome. And I saw the other day that Hannah was like, hey, if anybody in the area wants to buy one, I was like, hey, I'd be more than happy if you want to just tell me what shipping and stuff is. And she goes, No, you own a piece. So even though I had missed the deadline, but still because I owned a piece, she's sending me one, and I am literally so excited. This is incredible. And like Emma said, the attention to detail, I know she didn't like point it out, but even the tissue wrapping paper literally has sitting still printed on it. And like, it's absolutely incredible. It was beyond anything I could have imagined. We already get like this incredible piece of art and an incredible connection with Hannah, and that she takes it and does this, and it's just really incredible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's it's absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much, Hannah. Definitely appreciate it. And I'm thrilled that I get to own pieces of your beautiful work in the collection and also be a friend. So, and that's something that is so special about this NFT space. And I know we've repeated that throughout the session, but just great people doing great things. And we appreciate getting the chance to know everybody. And so it's been really great to be able to do an update on collections that we've been collecting. I'm so excited for my gallery to be able to share this. This is something that we've been working on for quite some time for the MetaJungle community, and there's really great things to come. So I'm excited to share the new pieces that I've added. This has been our one-of-one artwork collection update. Very soon we'll be sharing our generative art update because we've been busy in that area too. Definitely excited about the whole NFT space and do a lot with both generative art projects and one-of-one pieces, but this has been our first time to really highlight one-of-one pieces because it's something we both have been really active and passionate about. So want to thank you guys for tuning in and listening. Please check out the artists below. All great, like we've mentioned, great people to get to know, beautiful work to get to explore, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys next time.
I can't wait.
Thank you guys.
Bye,
See
guys.
you next time.